What is up, YouTube? Today we're going to be talking about the bright outlook of medical assistants. It is a great, fast growing occupation, lots of apprenticeships, many entry level, and even lots of job experiences and many, many different areas of healthcare for those who actually have experience. So there is a wide gamut of information that's available out there. Previously, I did this video on medical assistants in bright outlook occupations, 100,000 or more jobs in this growing and emerging field. You can work in administrative. Maybe you want to coordinate, work with records, or do support. Or maybe you want to work in a plasma lab or an urgent care, a hospital, or a government facility. There are three different types of places that you might not know about. So, government jobs as medical support assistants, advanced, and technicians. So you can go right to usajobs.gov for those types of jobs. We also have jobs that are more on the clinical side. Maybe you like clinical. Maybe you like working with blood or urinalysis. Plasma labs are looking for your types of experiences out there in the healthcare field. And even insurance companies, they have urgent care centers and occupational centers where they can offer remote jobs and offer all sorts of jobs out there for you. So keep that in mind when you're talking about jobs. My name is Carla. We're going to get right into it. Before we get started, everybody, as I mentioned, my name is Carla here at Teaching Trends, teaching all about those remote jobs that are expanding. Most recently, some apprenticeship opportunities when it comes to apprenticeship, career, job training, and where those jobs are. If you want to look at some of my posts recently, I take a look at my community posts. We have hiring events that I'm always posting here for medical assistants with Cooper here. There are some other events that we have with Plasma Lab, plasma technicians, and phlebotomists with different plasma places and getting paid. So these are some of the things that I definitely want to sit here and talk about. For those of you who are not familiar, I have a playlist particular for those healthcare students and healthcare jobs. And if you take a look at it, there's lots and lots of videos about healthcare careers, jobs, different jobs that are remote, hands-on, or little known jobs you may know about or not. For those of you who have come back to my channel, welcome back to my channel. And for those of you who are new, welcome. It is great to have you here. So we're going to get into talking about some of those jobs for medical assistants. I've actually talked about some of those things here on my channel. So if you want to kind of get into different jobs and insurance, billing, what's hot in careers and what's not, got a great videos there. Today, I'm going to focus on some of those jobs that you might not know about as medical assistants. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, medical assistant is a bright outlook occupation. It is a fast growing occupation, meaning multiple jobs throughout the next decade. So, interviewing, exam rooms in doctors' offices, hospitals, assisting nurses and physicians, maybe changing dressing wounds, and really collecting tissue, laboratory specimens, drawing blood. Those of you may have had urinalysis in school. Maybe you've practiced with urinalysis using the dipstick, really documenting some of those things. So, we're going to talk about some of those jobs that deal with specimen collection or specimen processing. For those of you who are really getting into your medical assistant apprenticeship or medical assistant career, internship, or job. And it may be great for those of you who have some experience and just didn't know that these types of jobs existed. So as you can see, specimen processors deal with the blood. Maybe they deal with urine or plasma. This is kind of a job where you're going to make sure things are labeled properly, or you're going to follow what they call that chain of custody, making sure it's safe. Maybe you could get a job working with the court system that deals with processing specimens for paternity testing. But as you can see, many things, the entry level specimen processing, maybe you work in a lab, entering information into the computer, looking at specimens to make sure they follow protocol or have enough blood in them, maybe dealing with blood processing and labeling. Maybe you're going to be working with some sort of urine in your analysis. But again, different types of jobs working with a centrifuge in specimen processing. So now that we know a little bit about what that looks like, we're going to look for some specimen processor jobs. And I just typed that into Google there. We're going to go to all. And as you can see, even some entry level specimen processing jobs have come up. So maybe you've done something with your analysis in school, you're preparing the lab, looking at those requisition forms. As you can see, we have hospital here, we have a lab here. And if we actually go into looking at some of these, we have different places like LabCorp that are looking for specimen processors, or a lab tech that is a sample processor. I know people are like, well, I'm not a laboratory technician, which is maybe true, but there are specimen processing jobs where you're going to be following along that specimen and make sure it's processed, entered into the system, that it's labeled properly, it's timed and dated, maybe even the proper temperature. So there are other jobs you may see it called specimen ascensioner job, and that literally is just like lab support. You're looking at that specimen, you're making sure it's processed. What does it require? High school diploma? Really, you don't need that much experience for this type of job. They will train you. If you have a certification as a medical assistant, even better. This is that type of job you might want to look for if you want to work in that lab. Many of these jobs can be very early in the morning, but I have seen overnight jobs in this particular area as well. So remember LabCorp for your lab support jobs, specimen processors. If you like that laboratory component, many jobs, as you can see, available. So that's just one area for medical assistants. Talked about specimens, working at LabCorp within a hospital. Some offices even have their own lab where you're going to be processing specimens there as well. So earlier when I did my introduction, I mentioned Plasma Labs. So what could you possibly do at Plasma Labs? Here's one called Biolife. They have jobs all over. They have plasma center technicians, they have nurses, management trainees, plasma center leadership, testing in their laboratory. So we're going to go in and kind of look at what some of these jobs may look like for a plasma center. So I'm just going to go in and look at some of their jobs here. And I'm going to search. So they have jobs in this area. Actually, I'm going to maybe be more specific. They do have specified jobs. Alrighty then. So they have 181 phlebotomist jobs. You can look in your local area to see if they're looking for a phlebotomist. They also have health screeners. They're looking for health screeners and experienced phlebotomists. So if you're looking for something that is entry level, this could definitely be a place for you. I'm going to just see if they have anything entry level here. They actually have that listed. I'm not really sure if they do or not, and they do. Entry level phlebotomist, entry level phlebotomist. If you're looking to get your foot in the door as a phlebotomist, entry level plasma lab is definitely a place that you can kind of go. And they also have plasma technicians. Maybe you want to work more with the specimen itself, processing that specimen, making sure it's the right temperature, it is the right amount. And as you can see, they have even more for the plasma center technician working as a plasma center. Maybe you'll be working as a phlebotomist part-time and working with the plasma another part of the time. So many great jobs in that area. So I'm actually going to look in local area here and see if they have anything local to my area. So they're looking more for center reps in this particular area for this job. So just keep in mind our Biolife, look in certain areas, make sure you take a look. I want to go ahead and go to another one. They do post jobs weekly, they often change. So keep that in mind for Biolife. Okay, check out another one. Another place you can look is CSL Plasma. They have lots of opportunities here. You can click on search jobs. And as you can see, they have group leaders, medical screeners, medical reception, phlebotomist, quality specialist, plasma processing technician. So there's many jobs in those areas for medical assistants. You can select your location. You can search all locations. So I'm actually just going to put maybe the tri-state area in there. I'm just going to see what I get. And as we see, plasma processing technicians, quality specialists to make sure your specimens are quality. Or maybe you like the front desk and you want to do customer service or some sort of donor support. Or maybe you want to do like medical screener. The medical screeners kind of work with making sure they get that capillary puncture or that finger stick to make sure people that are donating plasma are healthy enough to do so. And if not, then they will have to come back and maybe donate at another time. We have medical screeners, customer support. So we do need plasma technicians, phlebotomists, and another place called CSL Plasma. So here's what I'm going to do. These are not the only two places. You can actually kind of go to Google and just type in plasma centers near me, and it will pop up the different places. You could go literally, and as you can see, there's CAD Plasma, there's CSL Plasma. There may be different ones in actually your area where you can kind of go look to see what that's like. And we can actually go back to Biolife because there is a very important part of plasma donation that a lot of people are not aware of when it comes to BioLife and some of the plasma care centers. So you not only will be donating plasma or working in a place where you're helping the community. There are many medical conditions where people need the plasma portion of blood. And for that, they actually donate money to those donors. So they are receiving that. If you want more information on how that works with BioLife, I will put their link down in the description. CSL and other labs have the same thing. Remember, this is just for the first time person, and the amount does change based on your location and how many times you've donated. But do know that every time you donate, there is a stipend that comes along with that. So you're not only helping people that need plasma, people in the community are really being rewarded for monetarily with like a card, like a debit card type with the funding on it. So this could be something that you really could be into. So my name is Carla from Teaching Trends. Remember, these jobs at Biolife, CSL Plasma, plasma places near you, or places like LabCorp that have different types of jobs. Remember, we've got the CSL Plasma here. And then when we did our search earlier, as I mentioned to you, you're going to do our specimen processor. And you can just type in specimen processor jobs. And when you select that in, you will see a bunch of places pop up. We have our hospital here. We have a lab. When I go in even further, we have LabCorp in other places. Maybe you like that lab component of your medical assistant program. Again, it doesn't matter if you're entry level, it doesn't matter if you're looking for an apprenticeship. They have jobs available for you for all types of medical assistance, whether you're looking for hospital, doctor's office, or lab. Hopefully, this information was useful to you. Until next time, everyone, take care.